do the intro thing again. Are we introing again, or what are we doing? By intro, I meant introduce the podcast.
Oh,
Why don't you go ahead and do that?
Okay. What do we call this? Hello and welcome to a new podcast called Just a Chatter, where me and Jared talk about pretty much whatever we feel like it. Because it's just chatter. It's background noise. Enjoy.
Yeah, reviewing things kind of got hard because I had to go back to third shift, and now we barely have time to do anything. So, basically, this is a way to air my grievances and for Ben to think of random things to talk about.
Yep.
Did you want me to start?
Yeah. I think you had something
Okay.
in mind, didn't you?
Yeah, I do, because we just talked about it for 10 minutes and then it didn't record, so now I'm gonna do a quick recap. Basically my thing I want to talk about first is The Acolyte, which is the new Star Wars show. I have not been a person that's been hating on all the Disney Star Wars stuff. I've liked most of the stuff that's come out. I think the weakest thing that came out recently was Ahsoka. There was some things I liked about it, but not a lot. This show is ruining Star Wars for me. And basically, I'm not going to give a whole recap of episodes 1 and 2 since I already gave that to you. I'm going to talk about just episode 3 and how that kind of ruins it. So as I was talking to you about it, the whole thing with the twin plot, there's this twin Osha, and then the other one, May. May is the one who's killing the Jedi and stuff. So when they were younger, they were in kind of like the Night Sisters cult, but it's way less cool because it's just a lesbian planet for some reason. I don't know why.
Yep.
And it's really strange. But the thing that is kind of ruining the whole thing is, you know how Anakin was basically created by the Force. He didn't have a father, and so we don't know if it was because he was the chosen one and he just happened to come into being, or if Darth Sidious used the Force and bent it to his will and caused him to be born.
Yeah.
And that's what made him special. That's what made that prophecy okay, this is what's really showing that he's the chosen one, is he didn't have a father, So it turns out the big reveal in this show is neither of these two girls had fathers. I know they're twins, but there was no father. They were a construct of the Force. And it's also, kind of hammered in because then that's when it's revealed. It's like, oh, there's no men on this whole planet. It's just a planet of life.
Yeah, hold on.
Like, what?
I hope this is no, we're good. Keep going. It says it's good. Go ahead.
Okay. But yeah, so that's when it's revealed about that. And then it's this whole thing where Osha wants to go with the Jedi, and she wants to be a Jedi. She doesn't want to be a witch because they're all witches too. They're lesbian witches.
Yeah.
And as per usual. No, it's
as per usual.
But so Osha, the good one, wants to go be a Jedi, and then May starts freaking out, and she's like, no. Oh, by the way, the acting is absolutely horrendous. I'm usually pretty forgiving with child actors. Those girls, what are they doing? Why would Disney be like, yep, those are our new heroes in Star Wars, let's get them, Maybe they were like, oh yeah, remember that kid who played Anakin that got bullied and got, he became that guy's schizophrenic now. The kid who played Anakin in episode 1 got bullied, and he was just diagnosed with schizophrenia a few years ago and stuff, and he's had a terrible life because of the amount of hate he's gotten. And you would think that people or Disney would learn their lesson and be like, all right, we got to get good child actors because we don't want something like that to happen again.
They have the money to. It's like, why wouldn't seriously?
And I don't know, dude. But so anyway, so May is like, no, you can't go with the Jedi. You gotta join our witch cult. I'm so mad at you. I'm gonna set the place on fire. And so then she burns the whole place down, and that all the lesbian witches die. And literally all of them because of this fire. And it's like, so yeah, and then May, quote unquote, dies. And then they're like, all right, Osha, you're coming with us because now you got to. The Jedi take her in. And yeah, but then it turns out May didn't die. Big plot reveal, even though it was already revealed in the first episode. So I like how they were like, all right, let's do 2 episodes and then we'll really hook them in with this backstory episode where nothing new is revealed. It's just the exact backstory that we've been told, and now we get to see it. And the only thing that's revealed in it is the thing that kind of breaks Star Wars canon for me, in the fact that Anakin is not the only person who was born without a father. Like that completely takes everything special about the character of Anakin Skywalker and throws it down the drain.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and I know you don't care about like the Skywalker story and stuff like that, but even you, I know you have to like be like, that kind of ruins it even more. You know,
I mean,
like,
I understand the importance of it though. It's like why? I feel like everybody says this, but why do they just seem to make obvious mistakes? I don't get it. Like, why?
I don't know. You can blame Kathleen Kennedy for being in charge, and like making all these decisions. It's like something I heard on another podcast a little bit ago is like, why not make it like a Game of Thrones style Star Wars universe where it's like, you have this big budget, just one Star Wars show that takes place in the Star Wars universe, and then different things go on in different areas. Like, you know, I don't know if you ever watched Game of Thrones, but it's like you have like the Daenerys Targaryen story going on, and then there are multiple stories happening. Yeah, and it's like multiple stories happening. So it's like, instead of having a whole show for Ahsoka, a whole show for the Mandalorian, a whole show for Boba Fett, a whole show for Andor and stuff like that, just have one big budget Star Wars show with big name actors in it. And
do they? So this is kind of a sidebar, but do they have a name for the Star Wars galaxy? Like, we're the Milky Way. Is there an official name?
It's probably gonna be something about lesbian witches or something soon. I don't know.
Because it could just be like, I don't know, like the title of the show could just be like the name of the galaxy, and by the end, like the end of like, I don't know, the first season, like that's kind of a weird reveal, but that'll be the reveal, you know? Like, that's why this show is called that or something. Obviously, that's not what happened, and that's not what we're getting. But I don't know. I thought that'd be an interesting idea.
Well, actually, another spoiler alert, because I know you don't really care about Star Wars. In Ahsoka, they figure out where Thrawn was sent at the end of Rebels, and it was to another galaxy. So they go to another galaxy, but they don't name it.
Well, I don't know if this is still canon or not, but his species is from another galaxy, or at least outside of the Star Wars galaxy.
Thrawn?
Yeah, his species.
Oh.
I don't know if that's
the
canon.
Blue Man Group.
Yeah, basically. What are they called? Is it the
He's from Earth. Thrawn is just a member of the Blue Man Group.
Yeah. No, so that's like a whole thing. Thrawn is also one of those characters that the old canon Thrawn's like the man. He is like incredible. And not that they did him dirty, but it's just like they relegated him to a kid's show. To see a proper show with him in it would be amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm going to keep watching The Acolyte because I have to. It's like the point of Marvel now. It's like I'm too invested in the universe. Like, I'm not gonna just stop watching. It would have to be so horrendous. And like completely ruin Star Wars for me to actually be like, I'm not watching this anymore. Like, it's kind of like a car crash at this point. Like, I gotta keep watching.
That's like us on Halo.
Yeah, and also one thing I have not heard anyone talk about, and I have not seen anybody say anything about it. So freaking, this takes place 100 years before the Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Yoda was 900 years old when he died. So there's
kicking.
Yeah, he's around. He can just show up at any time. And I've not seen anybody be like, yo, I think Yoda's going to show up or something like that. Like, why wouldn't he? He's a completely CGI character. Like, Yoda, I guarantee. You heard it here first, folks. Yeah. I guarantee by the end of this show, Yoda will show up.
Obviously, I haven't actually watched it, but it sounds like this is like some some sort of like C team, not even B team, but C team making this show, and they're not gonna have the rights to big characters.
I
They're
don't
not
know.
gonna be
There needs to
allowed to
be a
use big
hook.
characters like Yoda.
There needs to be a hook. There needs to be something that's like somebody's like, oh, there's the reason to watch it. Freaking Yoda just showed up, you know, like,
yeah.
and it'll be one of those things where it's like in Echo when Daredevil was just in one scene, but like he was literally in the trailer. It'll be like the mid-season break of this, and it'll be like, dude, Yoda was in the trailer. He's gonna be in the season finale or something. He's gonna show up for 1 second and be like, stupid lesbian witches are. It's gonna be something like that. I don't know.
So do I even bother watching this show? Say no. Yeah.
At this point, absolutely not. Do not even waste your time. Like,
Okay.
I'm doing it. Like I said, it's like a toxic relationship now. It's like I gotta just keep doing it because I'm in this far. I'm in this deep, Ben. Like
you're in deep. Yeah. You gotta see it through.
Yeah, I need to watch, but no, there's better Star Wars stuff that you could watch. Like, I actually liked Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think there's some great stuff in that show.
There's so many Star Wars.
Oh my god, Andor. Ben, you haven't watched Andor. That's what you need to watch.
I have a hard, you know this already, but I have a hard time getting into Star Wars. I really do. Like, I find the whole Jedi, like, Sith thing, that part's cool, but it always feels so underplayed, and I want to see like that's why like I don't like it's not even the Star Wars Skywalker saga, but just that era, because it's like there's 2 Siths and like 2 living Jedi. It's just like I want to go back to like the Old Republic where there's like an entire order of Siths, an entire order of Jedi, them in the height of their power. That's what I want to see, because that's interesting to me. Not this, like, the last remnants of this organization that I don't really know anything about because they won't show me anything about it, Yeah. Like, let me develop that appreciation for it, and we'll go into it.
Andor, the Jedi do not matter in that show at all. It is like a specific, like, standalone show, and it's fantastic. It's funny because like the director of that show, the guy who like wrote it and everything like that, he actually hates Star Wars. Like he publicly hates it. Wow. And he was like, I'm just gonna make a really good show that's set in the Star Wars universe. And he did. It's fantastic. I remember going into that and being like, who the heck cares about this guy from Rogue One who it's like a 2-hour movie and then he's dead at the end. Like, why would I care about this prequel show about this guy? And it's fantastic. It's the best thing Star Wars has done in literally forever. Since I think Episode 7, because I think of the sequel movies, I think Episode 7 was fantastic. I know a lot of people think like, oh, it's just a retread and it's just Episode 4 again, but like updated, and I don't care. The hype around that movie for me was insane. It was probably the amount of hype that the people had the prequels whenever the prequels were coming out. It was like, oh, Star Wars haven't been around in like 15 or so years, and it's like, oh my god, finally, like we're getting some more. And I just remember like the first day that trailer came out for Episode 7 and seeing it, like I remember the news, like Good Morning America was playing it on loop. Like they were literally like, it was just a minute-long trailer. I saw it like 8 times that morning, and my parents like do not care about Star Wars.
Yeah,
I'm on more so now, but at the time, neither one of them cared, and they just like were trying to watch the news, and all the news was talking about was Star Wars, and they were like, "There's nothing else happening in the world right now. Like, what is going on?" I was like, "This is important. You don't understand.
You don't get it, Mom."
Like, yeah, this is more important than anything else. Oh my gosh.
All the world events. I care about this fictional universe.
Yes, like Star Wars is back, baby.
I haven't really been watching any shows. I just haven't had time. Either I'm at work or I'm like playing Destiny because that just came out.
Oh
so
yeah,
like,
dude.
New expansion.
Is that something you want to talk about, or something like that?
Sure, why not? We're kind of in it. So like you're not finished the story yet. I've been kind of going back and forth playing with you and somebody else. to get you guys through the story. But how do you feel about it? Because I know you're much more of a reserved when it comes to Destiny. You're not as hardcore, I guess you could say, with it. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
So I said this to you on the mic the other night. I swear we gotta just like stop talking and like just play silently because I'm gonna keep like spoiling my thoughts about things. Um, this is the first thing that Destiny's done since like Forsaken that I've
Mhm.
cared about. Like, and before we played it, I was still very like, I don't care. Like, I'll play it because
Yeah.
you're buying it, and uh, you know, it's the final thing, pretty much. You know, I want to
Yeah.
just end it because I was there at the beginning. I played Destiny 1 religiously, and I was just like, I gotta finish it. You know, I gotta finish what I started. It's kind of like the Acolyte. Like, I was like, I gotta finish what I start. You know, like I gotta go through with it.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is the first thing that's made me care. The cutscenes and the story are fantastic. I was really kind of worried with them bringing Cade back, but I think they handled that perfectly.
Yeah.
I've never cared about the story so much as I do now. And I feel like they really put a lot of love into this. And the gameplay is fun. I feel like it's just the right amount of like
Mm-hmm.
difficult, you know? Like we're playing on legendary, and so it's like like when you beat a mission, you're like, "Oh man, okay, I beat that mission." Like I feel accomplished. I feel like
Yeah.
I
I
did
I
something.
I describe the difficulty as satisfying but not unfair. Like when you die, you're like, okay, yeah, I messed up. But like, it's like it's not like you're just beating your head against a wall. It's like if you're good, you're good. You can get through it.
Yeah, exactly. Like that one mission today, we did like the freaking longest one. It's the one where you're like trying to save Zavala before he goes and it's the symbiote all put on him and stuff. Um,
Yep, the symbiote.
but we were on that last bit for like I want to say like 30 minutes or something, and then I was just like, what? I need to walk away for like 5 minutes and go do something real quick, and then I'll come back. I came back, we locked in, and we did it. And we didn't die once, and I was like, yep,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
cool. Like
Yeah,
you
and
know you can do it once you get it down.
Destiny is definitely one of those games where it's hard to get into it by yourself. You really
Mhm.
feed off other people's hype because it's meant to be. I mean, it's built around multiplayer. I mean, the dungeons, the raids, like everything is built around multiplayer. There's a special like 2-man mission for like the exotic class item. So it's like, yeah, they really want
A
to push
two-man mission,
multiplayer.
you say?
Yeah, I tried to do it with Eric the other day, but we didn't quite beat it.
I'm excited. That sounds fun.
But yeah, it's if you're not playing with friends, then you're not doing it right, and that's kind of sad because there are a lot of people that don't have people to play with. That's
I
why
know.
I
I was
stopped
about to
playing
say,
Destiny
man,
for so
you're
long.
calling out people who don't have friends right now.
Well, I didn't want to say that. I did not want to say that.
They're
I
like,
did
man,
not
if you don't
want
have
to be
friends,
mean.
must suck. This game ain't for you, dog.
Yeah, the friends are just playing something else. You know, I just
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. I do think this is a lot better than the past like 3 or 4 expansions. Put it out
Yes.
there. I didn't really play Witch Queen or Shadowkeep or anything like that. I mean I played through the campaign really quickly, just to get the Lightfall, but I didn't really touch it for like years.
Yeah.
I have my own problems. I think it is a bit expensive for what it is to keep making us buy these expansions like every year. It's a whole thing, but that's a whole other story. But I do think this expansion was worth it.
Yes. No, I agree. This, like I said, I'm having so much fun with this, and it is the most like surprising. Like this is just unexpected for me. I did not think
Yeah.
I would find enjoyment in Destiny again, and I am. I'm having more fun. I'm having so much more fun than even like playing through Forsaken and stuff like that. Like this is the best thing in Destiny for me since the Taken King. So
Yeah. And I'm happy to get an actual like squad of people to actually do stuff with. Like I have
Yeah.
like 5 people that I know that are playing Destiny right now, and I'm like, this is like back to Destiny 1 days, and I'm excited. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it feels like.
This, and I'm gonna say something here that I have not said to you yet. So here we go. This is
Oh
something
dang.
that
Yes,
I
I do.
Ben, I've already said that to you. No, this is something that I am definitely, once we finish the story, I want to prep and I want to do the raid. Like
Dang.
I want to
What's the
finish
last
this
raid you
property.
did?
Oryx.
So Destiny 1. Wow.
Yeah. This is
Wow.
something where it's like I want to do the raid. I want
There's
to.
a lot of raids to catch up.
Huh?
There's a lot to catch up on. There really is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about
like,
doing all the other ones. I want to do this one. You know.
And this one I think is very. This one they did a really good job at inviting people like you that haven't played in a very long time back. You notice
Yes.
my quests went from 50 quests down to like 20 quests. I think
Yeah.
they dropped just a bunch of old quests and made stuff just easier to get in general. You don't
Yeah,
have this
because
giant
like when I
backlog
logged
of
back in
quests.
for Lightfall, it was like you got 70 quests, bud. You got to catch up, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. So they made it really easy, and I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for you, but let's just say that you actually get an ending without having to do the raid, which is nice.
Oh,
Because
cool.
like the past
Okay.
couple expansions, they're like, you gotta do the raid, you know. Even in Taken King, they're like, to actually beat orcs, you gotta do the raid, and it's like, well, I don't want to do the raid, you know.
Yeah, but this one, I really do mean it. Like, I want to get to Gary. I mean, not to. I want to get together with.
Get the
I want to
Gary.
get to Gary, man. We got to
They're
take out
fighting
Gary
Gaul
Doug.
again. Yeah.
I want to
Oh,
get
Gary.
through it, and I want to get together with everybody, like Eric, maybe Jerry, Tyler, whoever wants to do it. Like, I want us to
Yes.
play through and
yes,
do
yes.
the raid. Is there anything else you want to
Oh,
say about
boy.
Destiny, or I got a few other things I want to talk about real quickly.
I feel like, I mean, I'm done with Destiny. I'm good to move on. If you had something else,
Okay.
that was
So,
my
I
topic.
know you
Now
said-
your turn.
I know you said you had no other show or no shows you were watching. Just real quick, I want to drop the ones that I'm watching.
Okay.
I just started watching the show called The Bear. It is
Okay.
fantastic. I got through season 1 already. It's this show that's about a restaurant and a like 5-star chef whose brother dies, and then he inherits his like kind of crappy restaurant. It was like a family thing. And so he has to come run it. And it's like, you know, he goes from this 5-star restaurant lifestyle to running this like dinky Chicago family restaurant. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
The show, it's been
Sounds
hailed as like
interesting.
one of the best shows on television in a really long time. And I completely agree. It is so good.
I mean, that sounds interesting. Seems like something I would gel with.
Yeah. It's like, it's so like a comfort watch, but yet it's so high stress. Like, you know, every episode
dang.
there's like a part where like people are screaming at each other because like, you know, restaurants falling apart or something, and like it's just it's fantastic. And then you see like these characters grow together and like you get all this emotional because the brother committed suicide. And I mean that's revealed in the first episode, you know, and so it's like he's trying to figure out like why his brother would do this and why he stopped talking to him for so long beforehand, and then like why he also, even though wasn't talking to him, decided to leave him his restaurant, you know.
Yeah.
And so there's like this mystery that's not revealed in the first episode. So and also The Boys season 4, the first 3 episodes dropped.
Oh dang.
On I want to say Thursday or Friday. This is also one of the best shows on television right now. And it's one of the best. Yeah, it's one of the best superhero shows. It's fantastic. They just revealed actually earlier this week that season 5 is going to be the last season. And I figured it was because they're getting close to where the comics are ending. Like I'd say about probably there would be about 30 issues left right now in season 4.
Okay.
So I think this one will handle those 15, and then season 5 will probably be the last 15 issues.
Yeah,
and it's fantastic.
Yeah, The Boys for me, it's just I don't know. I have a hard time with that darker stuff. I just can't. It's just not my thing.
To me, it's like dark, but then it's also hilarious. Like I know we watched like the first half of season 1 together, and I still think about that scene with the dolphin. I don't know if you remember that, but freaking hilarious, man.
Yep. The deep. Yeah, I remember.
But I'm not going to spoil anything about season 4 because it just came out. If anybody's listening to this, they might not have had a chance to watch it yet. But season 3 was all about, they found something called like Temp V, which basically like gives someone superpowers for a small amount of time. And so the boys, like the main ones, Huey and Butcher, take it. And Butcher gets like superpowers. And then they also have this guy, Soldier Boy, who was like a superhero way back in the day, who they
Mhm.
unfreeze. And he turns out to be Homelander's father. And so Butcher and Soldier Boy like have this whole fight with Homelander. And Homelander's like, he's pretty much Superman, but evil. And he's one of the
Yeah.
best villains in anything right now. Like you love to hate this guy. And so
Yeah.
seeing him fighting against two people and just being bewildered that they are like even being able to put up a fight against him was
Yeah.
so satisfying. Like he gets his butt whooped and then he just dips. Like he flies out of there so fast and you see the fear on his face and it's like I think about that scene so much. Like
Dang.
it's like one of those like yeah, like you want to get up and like cheer. You're like, "Oh my god, this guy's finally getting what's coming to him." But now it's
Yeah.
like, like he's not going to get killed. I feel like he's not going to either get killed or lose his powers until the final episode of the final season
Yeah.
because he's such a good villain, you know?
Yeah.
Um but that's pretty much all I'm watching right now, but there's those two shows, man. They make me remember why I like TV and movies because The Acolyte
Why you like-
completely makes me not.
Just destroyed you. Yep.
Yeah. It's
I
like,
get that.
why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself?
It doesn't make sense. What? Yeah. This. Yeah, we've had a few shows that were like that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And movies that were like that. Rough.
Yes, like episode 9 of Star Wars. I know you have not seen that yet, but oh my gosh,
I have not seen the sequel movies.
Yeah, you've seen 7, right?
Yeah, I've just seen the first one. That's it. And even I didn't like that one either. Wait, what?
I like 7. 7's good.
I don't like the main character. She sucks.
Rey. Oh yeah, I'll give you that one. That's my bad.
She's your main character is terrible. Like, I just
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm trying to remember if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about. I've been playing Fallout 4. I know we've talked about that a little bit.
You said you almost beat it.
Yeah, I'm on the last 3 missions. I have 3 missions left.
Dang. Yeah,
that game
I
understand.
Yet.
I understand why it has gotten so much love, and I understand how people could play it for so long. Me, it's just not my type of game, but I like it. Like, there's too much to do. It's kind of like the Destiny thing before the final shape. Like now that it's like simplified everything, and it's like you can just hop back in and you can play. You don't have to do all the old stuff. It's like here's 100 quests as soon as you finish the first one, and it's like,
yep.
Oh boy, I literally looked up and I was like, give me a list of all the main missions. Like I'm just gonna do these bad boys.
Yep.
I am not gonna go across the map for like go investigate a radio signal and figure out what's going on. And save this one settlement and then like have them give you nothing for doing it. Like I did 2 side missions and I was like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna go find my son real quick, and then I'm gonna get out of here.
Yep. See, with games like that, I always would be like, okay, what's the best gear? I'll get that, and then I'll just beat the story.
Yeah.
I did that with Skyrim. Like I worked my butt off, got all the ranks up, crafted like really good gear, and then it did the story.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I do those really big, expansive games. Because I do not have. There's so many other games to play, so much other stuff to do. Be spending just hours and hours and hours and hours in this one game. I have a hard time justifying that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And Fallout, I'm not into the setting of Fallout. It just doesn't interest me that much.
I loved the show. The show was great.
Yeah, the show was good. It was pretty good. I did like the show. The show was pretty awesome. The show was different.
That's what made me say, all right, I'm gonna play a Fallout game and I'm gonna beat it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I'm doing it. Like I'm almost done, so that's great.
I didn't have anything else. I mean, there's a couple other things, but
yeah, I am gonna go see Inside Out 2. night.
Oh, that's right. You did say that.
So maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll write down some things I like about it, and or not like about it, and I'll talk about that next week or whenever we do another one. But from what I've heard, one review I read, which I thought was pretty like, all right, that's a pretty big thing to say. That's kind of hyping it up a little bit. It said Inside Out 2 is what Toy Story 2 was to Toy Story.
Ooh.
So it's like,
Ooh.
okay, I
Oh.
like Toy Story 1. Toy Story 1's a great film. It's very simple. And Inside Out 1 is a very simple film, you know? It's very
Yeah,
good, but it's
yeah.
simple. Toy Story 2 is one of my like top 3 Pixar movies of all time.
Yes, yes.
I think the only thing that's like above it is like Incredibles.
Good
And
choice.
so
That's a great choice.
yeah, I'm kind of hyped now. I'm like, all right, I hope this is what people are saying about it because I haven't really cared about a Pixar movie in years.
Yeah, I've
Probably-
not seen Inside Out, so I
It's really good. You should watch that. You should watch it.
okay. I'm assuming it's
Like
probably
it's on Disney Plus. It'll make
Yeah.
you feel things, but in a good way. You know, it's like every Pixar movie. You know, it'll make you feel
Yeah.
things in a good way.
Yep.
But it's really good. It's actually. Have you seen that video where it's like this guy on the news when Inside Out 1 was coming out? He was talking to one of the creators or one of the actors in the movie, and he was like, "This movie's so great. Like I saw it a few days ago. It really makes you feel like you're inside this 10-year-old girl."
Oh my goodness.
Like, oh god, man.
Nice. This is messed up.
Buddy, you gotta remember your word,
Crazy
homie.
there. Crazy.
Yeah, but
Oh my.
I really don't have anything else. I'm gonna have to start writing things down during the week that I'm like, all right, this is something I can think about.
There's other
Something-
things I can talk about, but I think we've a pretty good stopping point.
Yeah, no, I agree.
This was
We
fun.
gotta think of like an ending segment, something to end on. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But we'll think of something for next time.
Yeah, we'll figure this out. This is just a way for us to just talk, like we
Yeah,
normally
for
talk,
now,
but-
we can just go with it.
oh my goodness.